With a bang, the stone door was suddenly closed. Wow! Xiaoxie was shocked and hit the stone door. This collision did not hit the stone door, but hit the shoulder painfully. Xiaoxie rubbed his shoulder and smiled bitterly. I have been tricked. Li Mimi saw that the ghost plan had succeeded, and immediately laughed and said, Yang Xiaoxie, you can stay there. Well, as soon as my acupuncture point is solved, I will release some poisonous gas and let you poison you to death. Ha! The little evil thought, her mother's poisonous gas. You are here. If I go out and don't abolish your kung fu, I will not be surnamed Yang. He began to find a way, but what he was worried about was not that he was trapped, but that the toxicity in Xiaoqie's body was unsolved. It's a pity that this stone chamber is made of blue stone on all sides, which is not easy to break, and it is impossible to be in the belly of the mountain, and there is only one exit from the stone gate. Xiaoxie was a little disappointed, and he shouted, Old, don't expect the A-cup ointment to be solved automatically. Li Mimi smiled, Young brother, I can't solve it. I will go and inform my old friend to help me. You don't have to worry about it. Xiaoxie smiled, Okay, if you don't believe me, I can't do anything. I'll take a break and call me if I have something. He looked around again, hoping to find a way out. Li Mimi rushed several times, but she didn't break through the A-cup ointment. She said sharply, Yang Xiaoxie, I'm going to find my old friend to kill you. Damn! She can't move her hands and feet, but her mouth can move. At this time she has bitten the cloth hanging on the wall with her mouth, dragging her body to the left, and soon she has reached the red rope tied to the cloth. Her mouth bites the red rope and pulls it down, and a small hole 1 foot wide suddenly opens on the left wall. A white bird has spread its wings and flies, passing through the waterfall to the heights. Li Mimi saw that the pigeon had flown out, and she was happy for a while, and she no longer wanted to say anything else, and waited for the rescue calmly. Xiaoxie has been looking back and forth 10 times, and his palms are also red. He sighed and smiled bitterly, Grandma Black Skin, Leper 10. After being released from prison and imprisoned, I was born with prison, hee. Maybe an emperor like me needs to have some meat to get ahead. He made excuses for himself with self-deprecation. It seems that you can only wait for them to open the door by themselves. Xiaoqie. Xiaoqie, you have to survive 36 hours, otherwise we will have to say goodbye. He sat down and began to practice, no longer thinking about how to escape. XXX. A day passed. It was noon, and a figure appeared at the foot of the mountain, yellow shirt and black shoes, 67 feet, fat, fluffy and white, camphor rat eyes, small ears, broken teeth, very ugly. His chest was full of items strung with finger bones, and it was even more eerie and terrifying. As soon as Li Mimi saw someone coming, she immediately shouted, Are you happy? Ha ha! Said with a heartfelt smile, Mimi, who is bullying you? I dug out his heart and liver and ate it. He swept towards Li Mimi. Li Mimi sighed, Wait a minute, I've been hungry for a day, you can untie my acupoints for me. Zhong Xing stretched out his hand to cut off the strip of cloth on Li Mimi's body, and then unraveled her acupoints, but after solving it for a long time, there was still no progress. He shouted, Strange, what kind of kung fu is this? Why can't I solve it? He was a little surprised. Li Mimi said, "This is that kid's unique kung fu, he is now locked up by me, you ask him how to solve it." "Where is he locked up?" "The fourth hole." Zhong Xing walked towards the fourth cave, and soon he had already walked to the place where Xiaoxie was imprisoned. He shouted, "Hey, the kid inside, hurry up and tell me how to solve the acupuncture point to save you from death, otherwise I, Zhong Xing, will dig out your heart and liver, and you can't say anything if you want to say it at that time." The tone of his speech was not only arrogant but also eerie and murderous, which made people feel creepy. Xiaoxie heard the 3 words of Zhong Kaixin and said secretly, "The head of the 4 evils, kill without mercy." Zhong Kaixin, sure enough, it is the dragon and the dragon, the phoenix, the mouse and the mouse, the grandmother, and the important characters are here. Zhong Xing screamed for a long time and saw that no one answered. Thinking that the little evil was dead, he reflexively walked out of the cave and said, "Mimi, will he die or escape?" Li Mimi said, "No, absolutely not, this kid is very evil, don't fall for him, he must pretend not to answer you. You pull the one on the bed in front of him and intimidate him to tell him how to solve the A-cup ointment." Zhong Kai nodded his head and mentioned Xiaoqi, and entered the cave again. He said, "Xiao Biao, don't pretend to be dead for me, if you don't say anything, I will disembowel your brother." When Xiaoxie heard this, he knew that he couldn't open his mouth, so he shouted, "Your ancestor is here, if you have something to say, let it go, my old man is very busy, you don't have to interrupt there, otherwise wait until I go out, it's good to have you." Zhong Xing was also relieved when he heard that it was Xiao Biao who answered, and he shouted, "Xiao Biao, quickly tell me the method of solving the acupoints, otherwise I will kill your friend immediately." The little evil said with a smile, "You kill him. Anyway, he will die soon, you might as well kill him first." He was trying to probe Zhong Kai's heart. Zhong said happily, "Don't you care about his life and death?" As he spoke, he wanted to dig into Xiaoqi's heart and was shocked by the little evil, but he still had the strength to say, "You dig it. He has a strange poison in his body, and it is good for you to eat it. If one more person dies, I will earn a little more. This is not a loss." He deliberately said that Xiaoqi's heart and liver were poisonous, so that Zhong Xing did not dare to eat it. Zhong Kaixin heard that what the little evil said was true, and he shouted, "Then I will divide him 5 horses." Xiaoxie also stopped talking, because Zhong Xing's sentence had made Xiaoxie guess that Zhong Xing would not dare to hurt Xiaoqi, at least Xiaoqi would not be in danger until they got the method to solve the A-cup ointment. Why can Xiaoxie guess people's thoughts as soon as he hears this sentence? The reason is very simple. First, there are no horses here. Second, the 5 horses are torture, and the people who use torture must be very angry. However, Zhong Xing said this sentence with an extra that word, which seems to be a bit imminent. Third, Zhong Xing was killed before, and then said to dig out the heart and liver, and said that the 5 horses, this is clearly nonsense, is a temporary intention. The little evil head flashed faster than anyone else. Zhong Xing wants to play him, and he has to study for another 50 years to see if he is qualified. Zhong Xing couldn't help it. He screamed fiercely, roared loudly, and what was the purpose of the light thunder and the rain couldn't rain? He had to put down Xiaoqi, and turned back to Li Mimi and said, "Mimi, It doesn't work. If he doesn't say it, he doesn't say it, what should we do? Li Mimi pondered for a long time, and thought, if this kid doesn't say it, then I won't be able to move forever, it's better to ask him first to see what conditions he has. She shouted, Yang Xiaoxie, how can you unlock my A-cup ointment? When Xiaoxie heard this, he really reacted, and he smiled and said, you first unravel my friend's poison, and then send it in for me to see, if the poison is cured, I will tell you how to solve it. Li Mimi shouted, but if I detoxify him, if you don't tell me, won't I suffer a loss? In fact, she was just playing tricks, unraveling Xiaoqi poison and then sending them to the stone room, and then poisoning them to death with poisonous smoke. It's a pity that Xiaoxie has long thought of this, he shouted, you give me less, you know that you will not die in here, I didn't ask you to let me out, because you must not want to, so I just want to chat with my friends, and then die together. You don't accept this condition, then forget it. Xiao Evil has a lot of wishful thinking. First of all, he wants to save Xiaoqi first, so that he can avoid worries, and then Xiaoqi wakes up, and may fight with them. This is also a method, it is best to win, and it doesn't matter if they lose, because they must be sent in to let themselves see, and as soon as the door is opened, they can take the opportunity to rush out. It's really a shame that Xiaoxie has thought of so many ways in one go. Li Mimi knew that there was a problem, but now there was one more good one. She thought that as long as she solved the acupoints herself, she was not afraid of how Yang Xiaoxie would be tricky. She said, okay. She turned to Zhong Xing and said, happy you press a button on the right side of the bed, and a small hole will appear in the wall on the right, and there is a bottle of white medicine, you can take it to that kid.